Yeah, today we're going to look at Copilot in Microsoft Word and how to take advantage. Okay, so here's what the typical Microsoft Word looks like with Copilot enabled. Now, if you don't have Copilot built into your Microsoft Word, you may have maybe an older version of Word. So you're going to have to at least get the 365 version. You do get like the free Copilot that comes with a small subset of Copilot like tokens, essentially, allowing you to use Copilot for a handful of times within the month, right? So you can use Copilot even though you're not paying for Copilot up to a certain level without paying for it. So essentially, as long as you have the 365 Microsoft Office suite, right? And there's many ways to get that. Then and we're not going to go in through all those features or how you get your how you get 365. But if you have any questions on that, please let me know, and I can certainly do another video on how to do that. But if you want to get the full-fledged version of Copilot, which is an add-on to the the base package of the Microsoft Office suite, it generally is going to cost you about $31 a month to do that. At the current time, it used to be that you had to pay for that upfront for an annual, as an annual upfront fee. However, it looks like Microsoft's making changes on that so that you can spread those, that $30 out or $31 out over a per month time frame. So that's basically the Copilot. So to own it, you do have to pay for it, but you do get the free use of it, right? So let's talk about what Copilot brings to the table, and then I'll show you some examples of how to best utilize it in your business. Now, Copilot is extremely powerful. If you've used some Chat GPT out there, you have basically the same capabilities that you can do with Copilot. However, the benefit of doing it in Copilot is that the information that you put into Copilot is private, right? So if you use documents to draw information from and create Copilot documents from, the searches, the prompts, the documents that you're importing in is tenanted within your just tenant, so you can be you know protected, maybe your client's information that you would, if you would stick that into Chat GPT, right? That is basically leaking that information out into the public domain, right? It's now open and anybody can utilize that information. So that's not a good thing, especially if you're a lawyer, especially if you're doing something that has private information in it. Using ChatGPT for that is not a good idea, right? So Copilot, protects that because it's made more for businesses that of course may have privacy and security as at its foremost, right? So that's the first thing. So the second thing is that Microsoft spends a heck of a lot of money to invest in the latest version. They just came out with Chat or GPT-5, right, which is the latest and greatest, right? So you're not dealing with GPT-4, GPT-3, or anything like that. You're getting the latest and greatest here within Microsoft, right? And the third reason I like using the Copilot is the fact that it utilizes the features of Microsoft Word. So you're not having to try and cut and paste from ChatGPT and getting all kinds of formatting errors within Word, right? So it's going to format it properly. And we're going to show you some examples of just that right here and right now. So let's get to it. Okay, so how would you use Copilot? So if you notice here at the top, Copilot does have, let's say, what would you like or what do you want Copilot to draft for you? Okay. And you can really just, it's all about the prompt. Whatever the prompt you put in here will generate the example information down below. So let's do that. Let's say, please create a letter to Mr. Smith thanking him for the opportunity to do business with his company, Acme Products. Also mention that we are going to put together a draft proposal based on our conversations and get that turned around to him next week. We are looking forward to doing business in the future. Sign, Chris Cordova. Okay. All right. So this is just my prompt that I'm going to put in there. Let's see what Microsoft Word's Copilot does here. And so basically creating a letter here. It's going to work on it. Okay, there it is. Thank you to Mr. Smith. Okay. Dear Mr. Smith, I would like to thank you sincerely for the opportunity to do business with Acme Products. I truly appreciate the time and attention you've shared during our recent conversations, and I'm excited about the possibilities that lie ahead. Based on our discussions, my team and I will be preparing a draft proposal tailored to your company's needs. We intend to have this draft completed and sent to you next week so we can review and provide any feedback and suggestions. I look forward to continuing the collaboration. I'm enthusiastic about building a successful partnership with Acme Products in the future. Sincerely, Chris Cordova. Okay, so this is actually I love the way they stated this. I think it's phenomenal. It is missing a couple of things, of course, the date and the time. The address, information that you would normally put in a normal letter, but this is actually not bad. I could actually copy and paste this and stick this right into an Outlook email and send it out, right? Some of the formatting here I don't love, right? But at least the fact is it's in Microsoft Word. I can very easily make these changes, right? If there's something I don't like, I can always come over here to Copilot and and make some additional changes, right? So, for example, make it more formal. Or I could say rewrite this with a bit of humor. Let's see what it says. All right. Let's see how it changes the tone of this. Our recent conversations were both insightful and enjoyable, almost as good as finding an extra fry in the bottom of the bag. That's actually not bad. I kind of like that, right? Let's see here. The future is bright and possibly filled with more witty emails. Check this out. You can expect it in your inbox next week, freshly prepared just for you. Please let us know if you'd like extra details or a side of feedback. Very nice. So pretty nice. I like the humor aspect. I've always had issues with the humor side of things, although I do know that humor is a key component to selling, right? If you do know how to use humor, it's great. And being able to use ChatGPT or in this case, Copilot to build some humor into what you're writing. You can even memorize some of these things, right? And use them in speeches if you're going to like a networking event, right? There's, great opportunities to be humor humorous, right? If you're doing little speeches, you're doing little, stand up and, describe your company or your, 30-second speech or whatever it is that at these networking events, using humor is a key to success, right? The best and most memorable salespeople I have ever worked with or had the opportunity to buy from, right, generally get my business, or at least I know who they are, right? So, you want to be memorable when you're in sales, right? Obviously. So this is great. I really do love this. Okay, so let's start from scratch and see something else that we can do here. Now it says, so I just deleted, it says select an icon or press Alt I. So I'm going to use Alt I. And so so you notice like it actually puts a couple of the most recent prompts that I had put in here, producing insights from an engineering job description. So yeah, here, if I want to say, okay, let's say I want to do create, let's say I'm an HR or an admin for a company, I say create a job description for law firm X, which is for a legal secretary with 3 years of experience. Right? Creating a draft. There we go. Check this out. All right, so this is what Copilot in Microsoft Word does extraordinarily well, right? Position overview. Law firm X is seeking a highly organized and professional legal secretary with a minimum of 3 years of experience to join our dynamic team. Very well written. And the design is impeccable, right? This is where Microsoft Word is phenomenal, right? I mean, this is so much better than going with ChatGPT and pasting it in here and then having to spend time to reformat it or trying to fix all the formatting. Look at the beauty of this thing. This is already perfect right from the get-go. I mean, I just go in here and change my law firm's name and a couple of additional details. Who do I want them to reach out to? Things like that, and boom, I'm done. I've literally taken something that could take me hours and hours and hours to develop, right? And I've just created it within seconds, and with a little bit of editing, maybe minutes altogether. So imagine this thing, literally could have taken me hours to develop a quality, you know, a job description, right? Now within minutes, I've just accomplished the same thing, right? Okay, fantastic. Let's try another one. Okay. Now, keep in mind that Copilot does have a right-hand panel if you want to work with the right-hand panel, or it has this little Copilot button over here at the top. So if you don't have Copilot, you can actually bring that up if you want to, anytime you want, to bring this little right-hand panel. You can create images right in here as well. So it's, so it's not, it's not limited, right? So you can, check out some of the suggestions it has here. Project ideas, um, right? Summarize an email, compare file to file, show me meetings that I have on Wednesday, right? So there's fantastic capability here, right? But I just want to continue just doing the basic drafting, right? So let's see. Let's say if I want to create a policy, okay, let's say I please create a policy for the security handbook that directs users on how to appropriately secure their systems when they are logging in from home or on the road at a hotel, right? So let's see how that turns out. Let's just see. Always wipe it out if we don't like it. Okay, but let's just see. Policy statement, secure network connections, VPN, right? Data handling, privacy, physical security, authentication, access control. I mean, it has all the features right here. And then I didn't write the prompt too well here, but it was able to very well kind of come up with exactly what I want: a remote access security policy. Wow, right? Within seconds. Imagine how quickly. I mean, I've been in businesses where we've had to put together a policy handbook, right? And it's taken months, you know, to put that policy handbook together. Here, it's very simple because you can ask the Copilot, to just create those, and then you can just spend the extra time it takes to go ahead and just edit those solutions. Now, so here it says keep it. So if I like to keep it, it's fine. I can come back in here and say, what do you want Copilot to draft? Keep writing this, structure and refine, insert a summary, chat with the Copilot. Let's keep writing this. Right. See what else they. Let's see. What else can we do here? You can actually just turn this on or off, which is basically just dealing with dictation. So you can record, so you don't even have to type it in. You can use your voice to create these prompts. So that's actually kind of nice. It's not something I use personally, but a lot of people are using the hands-free options within Word, and this is no different, right? But one thing I do want to talk about here is, like, if I go in here and say, okay, let's say I want to uh, you know enhance this security policy by focusing on um, uh, protecting the uh, the company laptop from accidental loss or access by those outside the company. Right? Let's see what it does. Kind of curious. All right, so it looks like it is giving you some additional information up here. Physical security of company devices. Always keep your company laptop secure in a secure location when not in use. Okay, so this is something that you can add to. Maybe you make this a sixth item, right? Right. I wanted to take a quick opportunity here to just thank you for listening. And if you could, please like and subscribe. This really helps the Google algorithm and let me do more videos for you. So, also, if there is anything that I can do to, answer some questions for you and your business, maybe I can create a video that would be helpful and effective for you. Please don't hesitate to send me an email at virtualtechnologyofficer@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and on with the show. Okay, so now what I want to do here is again you see that it shows some of the most recent things that we did up here at the top. But what I want to do here is now actually use your area of your business. So if you're an accountant, if you're a administrator, if you're a HR professional, if you're an IT person, if you're a lawyer, what I want you to do here is ask Copilot to give you 100 ways that you can use Copilot to or develop 100 prompts for your area, right? So this is something that if you haven't ever tried this or done this, this is probably one of the best ways to just figure out what it is that you can do. So let's just assume you are a lawyer, right? So generate a list of 100 uh, Copilot prompts that a lawyer would use in Microsoft Word, right? All right, here we go. Look at it go. Within seconds, right? You have just gotten a list of 100 different ways to utilize Copilot for your job, right? Extract all dates and deadlines from this agreement, right? So you can actually import a document in Word, right? And use that document to compare two documents or, figure out exactly what the dates and deadlines have. Let's say if you have a 50-page or a 100-page document that you've gotten from the, co-counsel or opposing counsel or even from a client of yours. So and you want to extract those dates from that document, you can do that, right? You can use Copilot to do that. You can write a summary of this deposition transcript, right? So you can import the transcript. Now, one thing I have to warn you about, and I've noticed this, and I haven't worked, anything around this, but so far it's got to be in your OneDrive or your SharePoint. So if it's not in your OneDrive, then it's hard to do that. So what you're going to have to do is first put the transcript into your OneDrive, right? And then you can use Copilot to go in there and compare or write that summary for that deposition transcript, right? I don't have a deposition transcript, otherwise I would do this for you in front of you, but I'll try to come up with another uh, a comparison for you. So let's see. Review this lease agreement for potential risks. Analyze this contract for compliance with state law, right? Interesting, right? Draft a template of a power of attorney. Check this document for missing signatures and dates. Summarize the main arguments in this legal memorandum. Wow. It's amazing what you can do. Suggest improvements for the force majeure clause. I'm not sure exactly personally what that means, but then, I'm not a lawyer. So, draft a settlement offer letter. Okay. Not bad, right? Compare this NDA with the standard industry templates, right? Um, right. So that, again, obviously Copilot is not a lawyer, right? So you definitely need to check everything that you're seeing here. However, it does give you that first step, right, which could definitely save you a whole lot of time, in developing something. At least, getting the structure down, of something that you could potentially use, right? Maybe even giving you some better rights, or better outline of what you can edit from, right? So it's a fantastic first step, in drafting or comparing or pulling data out, especially if it's a long set of documents that you're trying to analyze here. So again, you can come back in here, and this does not have to be, if you're not a lawyer, right? Obviously, if you're a firm administrator or a company administrator, right? So you could say, let's go here, give me 100 um, examples of what an HR professional can use as Copilot prompts in Microsoft Word. Right, let's see what it does for HR. Draft a job description, right? Draft a termination letter. Generate a template for expense reimbursement. Create a template for, see, it goes on and on. These are all great. Write a job description. Let's see. Draft a policy for handling confidential information. Prepare an agenda for a new hire or orientation. Wow, that's something that you could use. List frequently asked questions about payroll, right? Fantastic. Let's see. Draft a policy for attendance and punctuality. Summarize best practices for virtual meetings, right? Create a job advertisement for LinkedIn. Fantastic. So a lot of really great things that you can do for HR, right? So again, doesn't really matter what area of. Actually, I want to do one more. Let's take a look at, because I really do feel that marketing is one of the biggest ways of leveraging. Um, so let's see here. What is give me 100 prompts for a marketing manager that they can ask Copilot in software. Right? Let's see what this does. Right? Wow. Okay, so just 5 attention-grabbing headlines for this press release. It's pretty good. List common objections customers might have to this whatever software, to this service. Summarize customer feedback from the survey report. Convert these key points to an infographic outline. Rewrite this event recap for the company intranet. Right. Suggest improvements for the sales enablement document. Draft a script for a 30-second radio ad. Rewrite this email to sound more urgent. Right. Phenomenal ways to leverage Microsoft Copilot for marketing, right? If you draft a thank you note for event sponsors, summarize the main findings for our A/B test results, right? Format this email newsletter for improved readability, right? It's great. Um, So, I mean, there's these are just a couple of things, and let's see. The next thing I wanted to talk about. Okay, so the last piece here that I really wanted to kind of just show you is bringing documents in for analysis, right? So as I had mentioned before, you need to have it in your OneDrive so it's accessible. But basically, what you're going to do is give me a short summary of this document's key points, right? And then I can come in here and go to my OneDrive, pull up my most recent document, right? And there it is. It's going to, here's a document why your business needs a virtual chief information officer. Here's a document that I have in there. I'm going to click start. It's creating a draft. It's going to give me the key points and it's a summary of that document. You know, that document's multi pages long, right? Let's say it's 50 pages or 100 pages, right? So it's going to go through and give me the most basic overview. Now this could be really helpful because you could say, okay, well, maybe you're doing your HR person, you have like hundreds of uh, of resumes, and you can ask them, do these does this person, do these people have these features, yes or no, right? What are their highlights or what are their best qualities, right? Or maybe it's a huge document. What are the key features in this document? Does this document have anything that talks about uh, you know business as it pertains to online, right? Give me all of those facts or facets, right? So I mean, you can ask, you know, whatever you want about the documents that you have in your system, so you can bring that in and very easily, get that shortened to a snippet. Now, this is something I could read in like literally, 30 seconds to a minute, right? As opposed to having to review an entire document. It's kind of going to like the Cliff Notes version of a book, right? If you're going to sit there and read a book for hours and hours and hours or days, sometimes, right? In this case, you could take all of that data, bring it together, and say, "Hey, give me the Cliff Notes version of it, and I'll review that very quickly," right? So that can really help cut down on the amount of work that you need to review. Right here, it tells you VCIOs align the technology initiatives with business goals. They help optimize IT budgets, implement cybersecurity, make better technology decisions, prepare infrastructure for growth. Real world examples illustrate VCIO impact and leverage latest technology trends. Right. So basically, that entire document summarized into a few bullet points, and now you can get back to work doing some other things throughout the day. You've just basically taken something that might have taken you hours, or certainly quite a few minutes to review a document like that, into something that you can probably get done in 30 seconds to a minute, right? Imagine how much more work you can accomplish for the day. Anyway, these are just a few ways of taking advantage of Microsoft's new Copilot that's built into the Copilot that you have, either the free version or the paid version, right? Again, with the free version, you get only a certain amount of times that you can use it within the month, and then it resets. Then you can start using it again. But if you're going to use it over and over and over again, and you want unlimited usage, right, then you're going to have to get the full Copilot and pay for it. But again, it's about $31, but the amount of efficiency, depending on your role, most likely you're going to get some value out of it, right? So again, that's a business decision, right? If you think you're going to take advantage of it, then and it's worth the $30 investment, then it's absolutely a game changer for many people. However, if you think you might only use it once or twice a month, then just go with the free version. The free version is probably sufficient for you. And you may not need it beyond that. So anyway, well, I hope that was helpful. Again, this is Chris Cardillo, your VCIO. Hope all is well. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me via email, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the next video.